So in the previous video, we went through the removal of the rear badge. You've cleaned it up, used alcohol to wipe it down to get all of the goo gone off, and you have the trunk liner already pre-removed. Next, we're going to take the rear emblem with the short cable, and we're going to remove the backing off of the adhesive. We'll bring the trunk down and take your tiny little connectors and feed them through the pre-existing hole that's already there from factory. Fish all the cable through. Match up the posts that are on the car and press it on. All right, so now that the emblem's on, we'll find our cable with the 4 connectors. We're gonna grab our 20-foot that came with it and your tiny little connector piece that's gonna go on this cable. Now what you wanna do is you want to connect these two together, or at least look at it, so you can see the color pattern of the 4 wires that are on the connector. Here we'll have on top black, red, blue, and green. So on this connector, we want to do the same thing from top to bottom. Black, red, blue, green. So we take our little connectors on the wire with the tiny little pins on top. And they're going to go in the indentation that looks like the little house with the chimney on top. You're going to feed it in that way and just push it in till it clicks, and it won't come out. So we have black, we need red. We'll grab the red connector with the little tab, feed it in. Push it until it clicks. Next we got blue and green. Tab on top, top of the house. Easier to do them one by one. Push them all in till they click. The reason why this is not pre-done is so you can fit these wires through that tiny little hole, because this connector is not going to make it through. Once we finish this, we're now ready to route the cable from the trunk all the way through and up to the firewall. We're going to unravel it. We will start here. Okay, so we've unraveled the 20-foot cable. We're going to take the open end that doesn't have the connector on it, and we're going to route it through the trunk lid. We're going to bring it down to whichever side has the grommet that goes from the trunk lid down inside of the car, in the trunk. And we're going to fish it through this grommet and then along the easiest route along the top panel of your trunk. So on my car, we're going to come through here. We're going to open this, and I already have my last emblem cable here. So I'm just going to fish it through with that and pull it through this grommet, and these just pull right off, fish it through that grommet, and then run that wiring through the top. Now that you have ran the cable through the grommet and into the trunk, we're going to find the easiest path, which looks like here, all the way across and down through underneath the seat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that panel, put down the seat, take out this trunk lid, and I'm going to run it with that pre-existing wire from my last badge through these holes, taped to a coat hanger all the way across. Alright, we pulled out the trunk piece and put down the back seat, ran the wire all the way over to here. I'm going to continue and zip tie it along with the other wiring harness that is pre-existing from the other connections. I'm going to clean it up a lot better than that. I just cut that loose. And then bring it all the way down to where the seat is and go along the seat, come out of the side here. We're just going to pull this seat up when we put this top back up, and then we're going to remove the side trim by pulling all this up, and we're going to fish it all the way through the front seat, and we'll go to the firewall. So now that we've come to the back seat, we're going to bring this up, and because Subarus are so easy, you just pull up on your seat on both sides, and out it comes. Once you have that up, you can fish your cable underneath the seat along with this wiring harness and tie it directly to it. And we're zip tying as we go along. And then what else we're gonna do is pull up this trim piece like so. They're all snaps. Very simple to pull off. And we're going to pull this up all the way up here. And then we have access to this panel as well. And we can pull this panel off once I do the other side. We're gonna pull it through until it's taut. And once again, zip tie it. As you go. Make sure it's taut so you're not losing any of your line. So to continue removing the floor and side panels, you pop the floor cover just like the other side. Just get your hands underneath there and they come right off. Very simple. And now to take the weather stripping, pull it up, and that exposes the floor. So we can lift this up and feed the cable underneath with the rest of the wiring harness. So I'm going to take this panel off. Everything just snaps in and snaps off. So we're going to lift this up and just peel it to the side. And once again, we're going to fish it along with the others. Tie it in piece by piece. Because we don't want to have to take the seat out, and you shouldn't need to, because you can just keep pulling this along the side and go all the way up. We can just keep pulling this along the side of the car and keep going all the way up, piece by piece, until you make it to the top. So again, we've used the pre-existing wiring harness and ran the cables all the way up. We're going to continue to remove the side panels and the under panels by the driver floor, and this is where you're going to run it through the firewall using the pre-existing wiring harness. So I've removed the side kick panel and underneath the steering column, so I can run the cables along the top that I already have, and they're going to feed over there. You can see where the blue cable goes and the red cable inside of the firewall. And what we're going to do is from the engine bay, we're going to feed a wire through and bring it in and tape it to that and pull it through. Once you're finished running that through, make sure you clip these together and the colors match. Otherwise, when you push blue, you might get a different color. And you can clean this up by zip tying them together with all the others. On your grill, you may have a mount, but on this grill, it's all mesh. So you're gonna wanna align it first, find the hole and mark it like I have, and then go back, take the wire out, remove the film off of the back of the emblem, and then you can make your placement in your permanent position and make sure it's level, like so. Now what we're going to do is put the grill back on the car and feed the wires up and around with the hella horn wiring harness or any direction that you want. And we're going to run that up here to the side, and we're going to put the Bluetooth module up inside this little weather strip that we have pulled back right there. And from there, we're going to connect the cables to one of these inline fuses and connect it to the positive side and run a ground to one of the body chassis bolts like this one here. So we have an inline fuse hooked up with our positive line, and we have a negative ground as well that we're going to run into the Bluetooth module. We have the positive side and the negative side. You're going to unscrew these to open them up. Negatives over here. Feed it inside. Screw it down. Feed the positive inside. Screw it down. Now once you do this, this box is powered up. So now we have tied all the wires together for the front and rear emblem. We're going to twist them all together, and then we're going to feed them into the color coordinated slots on the Bluetooth module. Black, red, green, and blue. We'll flip it over, unscrew them until they open, and then feed them in one at a time. Once you feed it in, you can give it a tighten down until it's all the way tight. And you know you have both of them in there. So now that all the wires are in, we can test that the emblem is on. And what we're gonna do with this, now that we know the emblems are on, is we're just gonna tuck it away in a spot. It's up to you on how you wanna do it. I'm gonna tuck mine in here, zip tie it to these pieces, close it all up, and it'll be good to go. We'll go look at the badges next. Now that we have everything hooked up, what you're going to want to do is open the app, and from inside the app with your Bluetooth on, you will see the device come on. If you disconnect the device and then connect it again, it'll start an initial sync for 30 seconds. You'll see the object and you'll click on it to sync, and then it will bring up this interface where you can turn it on and select any color that you wish. Here we have the white, the red, move it to green, blue, go to one of the functions and turn down the jump, set the speed a little faster, run through the colors, make it super fast, turn it off. Now I can put any setting that I wish, close the app, turn it off, turn the car off, turn the phone off. It'll save this into memory. So when you open the app again, and power it up, it'll always be whatever you had it to last time it was on. Put it on the jump, turn it off, back to the jump.